hoping I have what it takes to understand. There's a reason why we're drawn together here, coming clear. Let's take things one day at a time. Beneath the surface, scraping out what's deep inside. Is this the way a new relationship begins? Here we are, diving in. We'll have the time of our lives. Don't pass it by. We'll have the time of our lives. Just you and I, so far away from home, into the great unknown. We'll have the time of our lives out here tonight. With you I feel like I belong. Every day a little bit further along. Let's make the most of every lasting memory. Here we are, you and me. We'll have the time of our lives. Don't pass it by. We'll have the time of our lives. Just you and I, so far away from home, into the great unknown. We'll have the time of our lives. We can make this last forever, because it's now or never.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Just getting set up. Won't be a second.
We'll have the time of our lives. When the moment arrives, we'll have the time of our lives.
These cracking tournament headsets.
Don't pass it by. We'll have the time.
I don't even know how I sound. It's probably the first time I actually ever used them, guys.
Just you and I,
Let me know how I sound.
away from
Those who are watching,
home,
make sure I haven't got it on.
great unknown.
Check it out.
We'll have the time of our lives out here tonight. Whoa, out here tonight.
Can't hear me over the punk rock. Let's get the settings. It won't be a second. Let's just take this. Take that off. Let's get the volume down on this thing. That's better. How do I sound now? Do I sound clearer now? Can you hear me now? These are the Kraken Tournament Edition headset that I picked up from Amazon. It doesn't fit my head. It's really, really loose on my head. Ah, good. I'm glad you can hear me now. Okay, guys, this game called C14 is brought to me by the amazing people at Ratalaika Games, ratalaikagames.com. Check them out, guys. Let me just read you a bit about the game, so we know what it's about before we even start. For those who are wondering what it's about, it's a visual novel. I'll just give you that right now. As soon as this loads up so I can actually read to you. Okay, you play as Melissa Flores, a third-year student participating in summer internship. The field school takes place in Belgium, over 5,000 miles away from their native California. You'll be staying in an unfamiliar country for 2 months. It can be a nerve-wracking, but you couldn't pass up such a learning opportunity. Maybe you'll dig up some bones or even unearth tools with their magic affected by early humans. You might also forge friendships and find romance during your stay. I say, so this game features a romance, Hendrix-style shoujo dating sim gameplay with optional mini-games, beautiful manga artwork, and original soundtrack, as we just basically heard, just blaring in the background. Romance option, a different cast for every unique character. So guys, it's called C14 Dating is available for the PS4, the PS5, which I'm playing on today. PS5, baby. The Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. It's cross-platform, so you can buy it on the PS4 and play it on your PS5 or Xbox One and an Xbox Series X. I'm really hating these headphones, guys. I'm really hating them. It's like my head needs to be bigger. Oh, well, we'll put up with them today and we'll piss them off next stream. If I shake my head like this, the microphone, it wobbles. I won't say it. We'll keep the stream PG today, well, hopefully anyway, guys. So once again, guys, this game's brought to me from Ratalaika Games. It's just got released. It just got released. C14 dating sim visual novel, guys. So we're gonna start it up right now. Okay, so leave mini games on or turn mini games off. I'm gonna leave them on because there's going to be a crap load of reading today, guys, being a visual novel, and I need to spice it up with some mini games, I guess. And if I don't have that in between, I might fall asleep. Mini games are turned on. Okay, so we want original font and dialogue. You can use the original font and dialogue if you look like the current one. Make sure your choices are more of a start game. Okay, alternate font and dialogue. You can use alternate font and dialogue if you don't like the look of the current one. Make your choice and then choose to start the game. How do I know which one looks different? We'll just go original, guys. Hopefully it's not in Japanese. I can't read Japanese. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's get into it. They're bright green, eh? Bright green, check them out. They're quite light, but they're not snug. They're not snug on my head. And they retail here in Australia for like $189. And they're crap! They're so crap! Like on a console you can't use the THQ little thing that makes the sound better. You can only use that on PC. But that's not the point. The point of it just, if you haven't got a big head, but even the microphone, it's crap. Melissa, is this it? I glanced at the map, which highlighted Raw's names, along with the star next to my destination. After comparing, I came to the conclusion this wasn't the place, but was I close? The village coordinates were clustered by the... I should have changed the font because it's harder to read sometimes. By the Mears River, and I paused to admire the pretty gardens surrounding the houses. I was oddly calm, despite being over 5,000 miles from California home. The reality of being in another country had yet to sink in. Up ahead, there were a clearing separated from the road by a fence. On the other side, a few tents were stationed behind a two-story building. I spotted an open shade gate with a billboard in front of the driveway. It said, Grotta d'Inclo Intre. Okay, so we'll give Melissa a girl voice, I do believe. We should do that. We'll see if we can. That's the place. A familiar figure stood by the entrance. She was currently talking to a middle-aged man, but she saw me and she gave me a cheerful wave as I ran up to her. Sorry I can't work and listen to talk. I'll keep an eye on your chat though. Throw an SOS if you get in trouble. Yeah, all good, buddy. Thank you for popping past and saying hi anyway. I do appreciate that. The Ratalaika man is in the house. Thank you for popping past. Sherry! With one hand on my handle, I exchanged half an embrace with my professor. I didn't know you already arrived. If you called me, I would have come and picked you up from the train station. You mentioned that the cave wasn't far, so I wanted to soak up the scenery and enjoy the sights. I'm glad you made it safely. Was it difficult taking the train? Nope. Well, I did try to practice my French at the ticket station until the person said that we could speak English. He could speak English. He put him in the right direction. At least you'll be able to brush up your French. You find it not too difficult from Spanish. You'll catch on quickly. I groaned in Wiley. My Spanish wasn't most fluent, but I mentioned it was an interview we were discussing how I could cope with staying in Belgium without knowing French. I glanced around, then turned to Sherry. Where's Paige? Didn't she say she was arriving earlier today? Or was that tomorrow? I got an email from her yesterday saying there was a familiar emergency. Oh, sorry. I thought that was the narrator voice. She won't be able to participate this summer. I failed to hide my disappointing. Paige was the other student from my university who planned to attend this field school. We even worked on trips to do every weekend during our stay. I must have a weak smile. It's understandable. Can't be helped if it's family. Then it will just be me. Sherry gestured and the other person present to exchange the subject. Here's this dude. Before I forget, let me introduce you to Professor August Dupont, Chief Archaeologist of Calhoun Cave. I eagerly extended my arm for a handshake. Everything I heard about Mr. Dupont was from Sherry, and she had mentioned that he was a reserved Belgian archaeologist. It's an honor to meet you, Mrs. Flores, a junior. I look forward to seeing Sherry's students every summer. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mr. Dupont spoke with a heavy French accent, but I had no trouble comprehending him. Have you? I'm speaking English. I can't speak French. Buongiorno. I should try to give him a bit of a French tang, eh? Have you ever noticed, Shelley? You're the students from Le Grave tonight. They've got the first lecture before dinner. Yes, I still attended your lecture though. If I was going to submerge in the language, I might as well start hanging out with the local students. Mr. Dupont poked out eyes towards my suitcase. It must have been a challenging trip. Come, we should take you around the back. Students will be spending the weekends here. Bonjour. I didn't say that, let's do that in. We reached the clearing and had spotted some tents. Most clustered around the perimeter, against the bushes, and a few were closer to the building. Feel free to pick one. These are for the students who don't have their own tents or air matches or couldn't bring them. The chief archaeologist gave a nod. He excused himself. He probably had other matters to attend before the students arrived. I studied the tents next to the building and thought about my phone, which was still in the airplane mode. How's the Wi-Fi here? Sorry, getting confused with the voice. If you stay in the tent, you might get Wi-Fi. It doesn't extend much in the back. If you brought a laptop, you can leave it in the laboratory. It's been done before. Everything gets locked up at night for safekeeping. Fair enough. At least I can keep in touch with my parents. Once you finish, come to the front and we'll give you a tour. We will get to see the cave today? It's already locked. You have to wait until morning. And anticipation builds. I thanked her and started unpacking. There was already a mattress, pillow, and sleeping bag in the place, and it took me a few minutes to settle in. Done! Grabbing a small storage bag, I zipped my tent and hurried over to the front of the building. Anyway, this is the main entrance. Let's take you to the... She opened the door and my eyes widened. I saw a display after display. It was a museum! And a remarkable tiny one. After one look, I was already back to the entrance. I wanted to examine the displays more, but figured I'd have more free time later. Sherry and I ascended to the stairs by the entrance. This room, it's more of a multi-purpose room. It can be used for lectures, and if it was findings are clear and weather, it's suitable outside. I cradled the storage bag, wondering how to bring up the question. Fortunately, Sherry noticed. Something important in there? The extra insulin. I won't be using it. It needs to avoid extreme temperatures and somewhere safe I can store it. Oh, of course. Thank you for reminding me. Feel free to use indoor kitchen since it's restricted to staff members. Augustine has granted you access since he knows you're a diabetic. She led me to the back, giving me a chance to store the insulin bottles in the fridge. And that concluded the tour. This is the lab. This is the most of the research takes place. How many students will be here? It varies. There can be as many as 40 and as few as 20 students from Liga and required to devote at least 4 weeks working on an archaeological site regardless of the major. Therefore, we might not get a lot of music and art studies too. The other students should be arriving soon. How's the jet lag? Not bad so far. A little fatigued, but nothing else. Can we let's just save it real quick. What's preferences? Okay, well, so we can't. Oops, sorry guys. Just mucking around here. Save game, load game, gallery, preferences, return. Okay, I can't change that font. Once you change the font at the start of the game, you can't do. You're stuffed. I'm going to be up all night, aren't I? Worst case scenario, I'll give you an extra day to prepare yourself for the dig. You have reviewed the material I've given you, right? Just making sure my headphones are not going back to mute. I've had a couple of strange streams lately, guys, where I'll be speaking and just making sure my headphones are not. Yeah, they're working. Where all of a sudden I'll be on mute and I'll be talking to myself. Ah, yes, I looked at it. Is there anything else you'd like to go over? It's been about a month since my last lecture. Inquire about the cave now. Go a few. No, let's just go. Let's start. I think I'm good for now. Great. However, any new questions come up, feel free to ask. We've heard activity outside. Complete the loud noises and footsteps of the grave. It sounds like the students from Liga are here at Augustin. Sorry, guys. We'll start the lecture soon. Huh? No, chase I'm back or get ready for anything like that. No, all the students were given instructions or when to arrive punctually is valued greatly here. He'll lecture now and the students will settle in after. Just gonna get a quick drink and wet the whistle, guys. Just wet the whistle. Oh, once again, guys, this game is brought to you by Ratalaika Games. Check it out. It's just been released. If you like what you see, please feel free to give me a follow on Twitch. And if you're watching it back on my YouTube channel, please feel free to follow on me on that too. I appreciate all the follows, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once again, guys, if you're thinking about buying a Kraken Tournament Edition headset, the green one, don't. Shithouse. Unless you got a real big head. And then again, if I can shake my head like that, this mic that retracts into the headset here, it's so loose and it's so annoying. Like that, I reckon I could throw these headsets off my head. Shithouse. $189 in Australia they are. I didn't pay that, of course. I think I paid like $60 from Amazon. I don't even think they're worth $60. I'll be on my way. Look at this dude here. Some students stood there while others sat on the stone tiles in front of the building. A few leaned against their luggage, but they were a form of semicircle around Augustin. There were about 30 faces, and I wondered how the camping grounds would contain them all. They fell silent when Augustin began to speak. Okay, got to get the French voice going soon. Although I picked up the keys, words such as angelologic, grotto, and sediment, much of it was lost on me. He repeated care clean a lot too. However, his gestures were vibrant, and I sensed the passion behind his voice. It got me looking forward to evaluating tomorrow. Okay, so what are we doing here? Weekly schedule. We can plan stuff. Once again, guys, this game produced by Ratalaika Games, but it's a developer, the people that made the games, Winter Wolves, who do a lot of the visual novels that I play. So check it out, guys. It's if you like your visual novel games, C14 dating, not bad at all. Okay, we'll save game. Are you sure you want to say? Yes, we do. Let's get out of that. Let's play some rugby. Monday's catch. We'll do it as study. And actually, no. Can we go back? Socialize and then no. Study. No, bugger. Where is it? Study. Okay, we're going to study there. Browse. And then we'll study and Tuesday night's a gaming night. We'll game. We'll game again on Wednesday morning. Browse internet. Study. Catch. First thing, catch. And then we're just going to go Thursdays just like study. Hey, Goo! Welcome to the stream! Yeah, go on good, buddy. Go on good. Good to see you. Long time no see. How you doing? Buddy? Thank you for popping past. I hope you're keeping safe. I'm going to socialise on the Friday. And we're going to do some inquiry. And we're going to study again. The weekend. We're going to dance on the weekend. Explore the town. And We'll throw an email in there. And then we'll play. Doing alright. Good to hear, buddy. Good to hear. I'm glad you can pop past and say hi. Playing a visual novel game again. Brought to me by the amazing people at Ratalaika Games. Like Sherry said, there was another lecture in the morning, complete with a whiteboard and Augustin demonstration of how to use the trowel. It was all in French, and Sherry was kind enough to translate some key phrases, or remind me that I covered this with her before in the trip. The students were divided. One of half, me included, to the head of the cave, while the other group would stay behind for lab work. Okay, change of scenery now. The walk to the cave was roughly 10 minutes, passing through a narrow path to Sloop Woods. The trickling section had cement stairs installed along the handles to prevent slipping. When we reached the ordinary looking shed, Augustine pulled out his keys. I realized there was a cave entrance, or at least the artificial part of it. Okay, so we're going to get to the French voice. Not very good at French voices, guys, so be kind, be kind. Once you're inside, please spread out to complain how to wet your screen, bonjour. I'm just going to throw bonjour and we in, because that sounds French to me. I mean, no disrespect to any French people out there. I'm just trying to get into the game with this guy's French accent, and I can't speak French, so I'm just going to throw words in there just to sound French. But once again, I mean no disrespect to any French people out there, or anyone at all. I'm just having a bit of fun. If you can't have fun in life, guys, fuck. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't say that word. It's a PG stream today. Fire truck. Then, well, what's the point of living? He repeated the instructions to his friends, and he followed through one by one. There was a raised computer in the middle of the plastic containers, suspended on wooden supports. So this is what the wet scenery takes place. Looks like it can only fit 2 people at a time. I wonder how often it's been used. Augustine demonstrated by lowering an empty metal sleeve into a plastic container. Grabbing a hose, he mimed washing the screen and rooting through the pretend dirt. Rooting. As much as I tried to pay attention, the language barrier tested my focus, and my eyes started to wander. Check out the posters, look down, stay focused. Stay focused! I didn't come here to learn, didn't I? French or not, I should show I'm serious about this. He's mentioning photographs a lot. Is someone coming to take pictures? Everyone started to line up after Augustine gestured to each of them, which ranged from stacks of buckets to plastic containers full of towels and brushes. I followed around, carried everything in my own bucket, including a sheet of paper encased in a plastic bag. The rear entrance to the cave opened, leading a narrow industrial catwalk suspended over the abyss. Once I walked through, the temperature dropped to a cool chill, and I zipped up my hoodie. Augustine directed students to various locations, while Sherry carefully slipped by, and as I followed. The cave opened up further into a numerous stalactites and I know what they are, but I can't pronounce any of those. It was stalagmites. That's it. Everywhere. The catwalk rays disappeared where the ladders connected, or when it branched off into other segments of the cave. Sherry, where will I dig? Sherry leaned over the railing and pointed to one of the deeper parts. You'll be digging here. It's a 125,000-year-old layer. That's sign 1 where they discovered the Mediterranean Mabia. What? I'll be digging in such an important place already? Despite my nerves, I felt giddy inside. Sherry climbed down the ladder and I trailed behind her. At the bottom of the ladder was another catwalk, positioned exactly in the middle. Now that my eyes adjusted to the dim light, I noticed there were strings and cords hung over everywhere in this big padding. I noticed nailed into the soil. Sherry brought to the end of the catwalk where there was yet another ladder, but this time much shorter. You'll be digging right side here. Right side here. Here was a rather crazy-looking pit, a perfectly dug-out square. 2 to 3 people could probably move around freely in this place. It was almost right under the main catwalk, higher up too. This is your Carry D32. Carry D32? Oh, sorry, Carry D32! Carry means square. Everything is separated into grid systems. Starting from the entrance of the cave, the outmost left to the right, it goes A, is it 1? AI, BI, and so forth. We'll say it's an I because it doesn't look like a 1, or A1, B1. We'll call it whatever that is. That makes sense. It explains all the lines digging from the ceiling, too. They're for measuring. We'll say 1 then, guys. Correct. Shall we take a closer look? The photographs for the row should be already done. Done already. Someone just messaged me, guys, so let's see who it is. Sorry, guys, that's the cowboy. I sent him a game. It was wrapped in Christmas paper with it crossed off saying Happy Easter instead of Christmas. The cowboy. I'll be right back. You can go ahead and set your items down. Hey, welcome to the stream, Jericho. Sorry I didn't see you before, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She retreated while I placed the bucket next to the short ladder. I descended, then grabbed the tool before I hopped off the last step. The layer I would be working on was mostly dirt. The odd large rock sticking out here and there would be easy to dig. By the time Sherry returned, I already had knee pads out and a piece of paper next to me. What I'm going to do, guys, my preferences... Oh, shit. Sorry. I think shit's PG, isn't it? Shoot! What I want to do... to jack the audio up a bit so we can actually hear something. I don't think I was hearing anything before. There we go. Now it's not so quiet. Here we are, a picture of your square. She handed it to me. I could tell it was printed off the highest resolution possible, fully inked and glassy. What do we do with this photograph for? First things first, we distinguish each layer and outline it on the photograph. Once Augustine or myself check it over, you can go ahead and start evacuating. This picture is irreplaceable reference, and you'll find yourself relying on it often. Please don't lose it or get it tarnished. Sadly, Augustine is short-staffed at the moment. I'll be helping the other students since most of them are new to this too. Is there anything else you'd like to go over? I got it, baby. I got it. I'm good, Sherry. Wonderful. I'll give you some time to get familiar with your square. If you're struggling, remember you can adjust the heat lamps. Also, the photographer's contrast have been altered to help distinguish the sediment layers easily. I'll be back shortly. I glanced down at the photograph before comparing it to the vertical wall in front of me. No matter how closely I look, everything was brown, 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 and more brown. What's it say on a jumper? Lindy Hooper. Lindy Hooper on a jumper. How am I supposed to tell the difference between this brown layer from that brown layer? Not deterred, I picked up a piece of pencil and began making more distinct settlements. Eventually it became less solid brown. I could see reds, faint yellows within the soil. I was so focused that barely registered that I was not even alone anymore. Who's this fella? A tall student stood by the square next to mine, already engaged and identified the sediments. I paid him no heed, until it became stubborn, or whether I was looking at one a layer or two. Quietly peering at his profile, he seemed rather familiar with the system. I guess it wouldn't hurt to ask him, or at least try to communicate. Can I get your opinion or something? Quiet student, his name is. He doesn't say a thing. Hello, bonjour. Still no reaction. I reached out and gave him a gentle tap on the shoulder. There's a hula! The touch jolted him so abruptly that it reacted in my hand. He wheeled around and glared at me. He's an annoyed student. His name's changed to annoyed student. Oh, crap. Hola, bonjour, dia quelque chose? Sorry, I don't speak French. No parle non. Oh, no guessy. I have no idea what I'm saying, guys. I'm just guessing. He placed his photographs on top of his square. How can we put his voice? What can we voice? Did you need something? Yeah. Actually, I'm trying to figure out the layers, and I can't tell if this is one. I gently traced the soil and then pretended to pinch the air to give an idea of width. Or two. It seems reddish at the top. He grabbed his towel, giving a vibe of serious and nonsense person. Once I stuffed it out the way, he examined the area I indicated. Three Centrum is more red, and he just said, but gradually appears around here, we? He etched a small line to mark the ending. I blinked as I recognized the differences, then nodded gratefully. Thanks so much, I sort of figured it out, but I wasn't sure either. It's nice to get a second opinion. I gave him a cheerful smile, but he remained impassive. He even seemed baffled, and I reached out to imitate a proper handshake. I'm Melissa. I'm one of the only foreign students here, if I wasn't obvious already with my language skills. Oh, I'm struggling. Oh, I can't even pronounce that word. Stuff it. Oh, man. Oh, I can't pronounce this word. I know what it is, but I can't say it today. Gonna get a drink, see if I can fix it then. Reluctantly. Ah, that's better. God, you get a tongue twister on there. And just one word that I know I say all the time stuffed me right up. He switched the trowel to his left hand and we gave a solid shake before letting go. Kyler, my name is. And that was it. Nothing else was work was his introduction. I decided to bring up his skills. I'm guessing you're aspiring to be an archaeologist? We appear to know what you're doing. He returned to his side of the square and knelt down, grabbing his photograph. Yeah, sir, this is my first time here, so acquainted with the subject. And you're especially since you're not from around here? We? Well... Oh, I'm still deciding. I'm not entirely certain yet. I sort of stumbled into anthropology, and I can't tell if I want to get into archaeology, forensics, and culture, and anthropology. I took this field at school because I felt a feeling it would be a deciding factor whether I go physical or cultural. Oh, I see. Disinterested spit through his voice, and I had a feeling any impression he had of me like a stone. Well, I know I learned a lot from the field trip anyway. I don't plan to waste this opportunity. I let out a nervous chuckle. He obviously wasn't convinced, and I dropped the topic. Since we're evacuating next to each other, this makes us square mates, or would it be carry mates? Either way, I look forward to working alongside you. He looked confused, but simply gave a mechanical nod. Yes, sir. Oui, bonjour. Even his last words felt artificial, and I lost him in the little world of microstratigraphical, whatever that is. I guess he varies his concentration. I mentally reminded myself to bring my earbuds for next time. I had a feeling we wouldn't be making much small talk outside of the excavations. The rest of the day was pretty uneventful. It was mostly a long wait for my photography to be approved by Sherry, and then I got hit by a jet lag. Despite my worries, Sherry said it would not deduct any marks if I napped until dinner, although she did scold me for forgetting my journal. I scanned the tables and maneuvered to where Sherry sat. I scooted to a spot on the bench. I silently started on my meal. After a few bites, I poked at the pasta dejectedly and sighed. Now I really wish Peg was here, and we promised to do so many things together too. I glanced up hopefully at Sherry. I felt bad, but she was the only oasis in this unfamiliar place, and I clung to it. Not only that, aside from Kyla, none of the students greeted me or even tried to converse with me. I guess it was obvious that I didn't attend the same university. Will I fit in? The question was more to myself, but Sherry overheard. Worried the students here can be reserved, but I'm sure there'll be a few brave ones that would like to practice their English with you. They're probably too focused on their lectures and their task right now. True. I'm sure once they're all used to the routine, I have more chances to mingle. I ate my gusto, feeling confident now. When I finished, Sherry glanced at my empty plate. Hence, I take that's for you trying to get some rest. Her concern cheered me up, and I chided myself for feeling anxious when I had barely arrived. Okay, now we're back in our tent. I retreated to my tent as I settled down, contemplating around about tomorrow. A musical tune disrupted my quiet night. It was quickly silenced, but I knew the catchy introduction theme to Istatira anywhere. I grabbed my 4SX. No, I didn't leave my system or anything. Was something else playing? I might as well play some Istatira. A little grinding will do me some good. What the hell's Istatira? I have no idea. I booted the game up, and the first notes of the theme song blared loudly. I had forgotten that my earbuds were hooked into my handheld, so it's obviously some sort of game. It's a gaming thing. So we set gaming, didn't we? Was it Tuesday game night? I slid the volume down, hoping it didn't startle anyone. The low spirits I felt earlier today melted away in the warm colours of the game. The kid got a ball in the face. I got a drink. Once again, guys, this game is brought to me today by Ratalaika Games, ratalaikagames.com. Check them out. It's just been released. Got released on March 30th or March 31st. So it's today being April 1st here in Australia. It's a day old. But I've been sent to it to play for everyone on my Twitch channel. So if you like what you see, guys, please feel free to give me a follow. And if you're watching it back on my YouTube channel, please feel free to follow me on that as well. I do appreciate it. This game's available for the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, the PS4, and the PS5, which I'm playing on today. As I said before, I'm using these new headsets, the Kraken, Razer Kraken T Tournament Editions. Bright bloody green they are, and they are terrible headphones. So if you think they're great, guys, if you've got a big head, yeah, they're great, but the microphone is very loose, unless I've just got a dodgy pair. But after this stream, guys, I'll be contacting Amazon, and I'll be sending them back, because they are fire truck house. That's a lot of swear words. Dawn of the third day. Back to the game, guys. I do apologise for my talking. Hope you guys enjoying the game. And I'm enjoying a pleasant jog early in the morning since I don't know much about Coronis. I stuck to the familiar path between the train station and the museum. When I returned, I saw people mingling in the open canopy. That meant there was enough time to eat breakfast before the trek to the cave. I swung a leg over the bench and settled into my seat. After pouring myself some apple juice, I grabbed an orange and began peeling it. Did you have a nice jog? Startled by the unfamiliar accent, I glanced upward, greeted by a friendly face. I did, it was a short one though. Since I don't want to risk getting lost just yet, I don't know the area well enough. This guy is just, yeah baby, check out these guns. The roads can be pretty windy too. You would think you're heading east and somehow you end up going north. Oh yeah, I noticed the streets are clearly marked. The names are mostly on buildings. Speaking of names, I'm Melissa, pleased to meet you. I extended my arm and I anticipated my handshake. Dear Dronde Enchante. I have no idea. Wait, you're from around here? Zesghetto. I have no idea. It's just... okay, we'll do that one. Your accent isn't French when you speak English. Did you learn from it somewhere? I studied... Oh, he doesn't... When he speaks English, he doesn't sound French. We'll give him a different voice, guys. I studied abroad in New Zealand for a few years. I picked up their matter of... Oh, I don't even know how. Oh, how's a Kiwi sound? I studied around in New Zealand for a few years and picked up their matter of speech choice. That makes sense. Well, it sounds lovely. It's a charming accent. Seriously? Sweet as, bro. I was concerned a little bit and understanding considering that my first language. Glad that wasn't the case, bro. I'm glad that looked through the chance. For a while, it seemed no one wanted to talk to me. I worried if it's somehow unapproachable. No, bro. Many people here are shy to the beginning with, but they warm up quickly, because I'm just throwing crap in there. I can't speak Kiwi either. I love the Kiwi national anthem. It's brilliant. We are actually intimidated by your presence at first, bro. Huh, me? We all thought you were some high school prodigy or archaeologist since you have obviously flown from another country, eh, bro? Me? A prodigy? Oh, no, it's just a regular university student working her anti-butching manner. And I don't look like a high schooler. First year? No, second year. Well, I guess technically third year. Fourth, I saw a photo behind electives, and the summer one seemed the easiest. I should just give a totally different accent because I'm sucking at the New Zealand one. We noticed a few students getting up and bringing their dishes to the outdoor wash area. DeAndre reached into his back pocket and pulled out a phone. He glanced at the display. Speaking of which, if we like the past, bro, we should start hanging out soon, hey cuz? Cave or lab? Right now, I'm on the dishwater duties, but I'll be working on the lab afterwards. So now I'm just going to Irish. They're still getting around to the proving people's photographs, including mine, bro. Again, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. It's no problem, cuz I know what it's like to be in a new country and away from here, the folks, eh, bro? Once we finished breakfast, we stood up at the same time. We momentarily gazed at each other for the surprise. It was much taller than I had expected, nearly Kyla's height. Now that I think about it, most if not all of the students here were easily a few inches taller than me or more. DeAndre hammered a fist into the flat palm excitedly. Oh, that was another reason why we thought the high school student, bro. Hey, I'm only slightly below average height at home. DeAndre grinned in amusement. Well, we left the canopy. I spotted a middle-aged woman frankly asking students something in French. What's going on? Helena, the receptionist here, is looking for volunteers, but it doesn't been easy, bro. I offered to cook a week, but it's not a one-person job, cuz. I have a partner for today, but any past that? Sherry did encourage me to participate, more like I would be marked on my helpfulness outside the allergology area. Sorry. We'll volunteer. I can volunteer for tomorrow. Would you really? Sweet as, Mel. He said it again. Now I'm curious. Sweet as what? Oh, it's Kiwi slang for awesome, fine, or cool, anything like that, cuz. I see. That would be let me Helena know that I'll sign up for tomorrow. Sure can, bro. Sure do, bro. Thanks. I'm glad my photography got approved. Now I can finally start digging. So where do I start? From the top? Right. You can start at the top and work your way back 25 centimeters, then proceed downward until you finish the layer. Some people prefer digging back a few centimeters then work their way down. Either way, as long as you're making progress. For now, we have to remove the Coochie de Meride. Using her trowel, she etched a line near the top of the square. The dirt at the very top was hard and compact, with footprints all over it. As this is a time of context, all of it. Sorry, start again. All this is out of context now. People have trampled on it, and it's been exposed to the air for so long that it's better just to remove it all. Gucci de Mirak? Wait, it sounds similar to Mirido, therefore. Exactly, it's the layer of the crap to phrase in the middle. Just dig back 25 centimeters, a few down, and it comes to this layer. It makes working here much easier. You'll still need a document for this, but you don't have to worry about the details. Just gonna get another drink, guys. Sorry. All the talking. At least this gave me a chance to sharpen my excavation painting skills. As he screeningly glanced at Kyle's direction, he must have been super delicate since he had already stripped back a layer away. Hesitantly, I took a bigger trowel and started scraping. Amazed by the resistance, I had to apply more force to make a dent. Let me give you some tips. Now, before we dig, we first remove the top layer. It's being treaded on, and its soil is now mixed and disturbed. You can see how the dark and complicated is compared to the lighter and pristine sediment beneath it. Not only that, it's hard to dig through all that's clumpy. Already testing it out. Someone's eager. Remember, you only need to remove a few centimeters worth. Try it out. Okay, so note the top row has 5 beside it. That means 5 cells must be chiseled, blacked out in an uninterrupted sequence. Since this is a 5x5 grid, you can clear the full row. Like that? Just like this? Perfect. A clean line. Make sure you don't remove too much, or you might be digging into the sediments you'll be recording. Is there a way to prevent that? I mean, I can't easily distinguish these two layers, but I'm sure it won't always be this obvious. You can use the tip of your trowel to etch into the sediment. It helps to separate the stratigraphical graphy, so you don't have to constantly check. How am I supposed to read that? She's standing in front of it. Check to make sure you haven't dug into the new layer. I'll try it as a practice run. Okay, etch the tool on the left. The etch tool on the left is a useful option to make the cells that do not need to be chiseled with an X. Try etching the third row. Did I do it? Oh, hold it. Did I do it? I'm pretty sure I'm doing it. Like that? Oh, fuck, I don't know. It looks like the top layer ends here. I agree, now you know how much left you need to clear away. Here I go! Now finish chiseling the second row. That's perfect! The cushy emitter has now been stripped away, revealing the pristine sediments underneath. Note how the top columns are marked with a 2. That means each column had 2 cells that needed to be filled in. Fuck, I don't know what do you... Since you filled out both rows marked with 5, all the requirements have been completed. Check. If you check, it will tell you if you correctly chisel the cells. In the future, you can also skip this to pass the puzzle you can't solve. Check. Okay, just check. Okay, good, you dear Mede. It looks like I completed everything now. I feel like a real archaeologist. That's wonderful. I'll be helping the other students out, but if you're stuck, don't hesitate to ask for my assistance. If you're unsure of the row or column in the future, just use the numbers on the sides of the top corresponding row or column to be correctly filled out for you. You can now use the hints several times per puzzle. The game will keep track of how many hints you have left. Okay. Carefully though, if your stress levels are too high, you won't get as many hints. Does that make sense from so far? I think so! No way it does! Here, I'll show you a little more. Now that the cushion is gone, I can finally start digging, right? You sound eager, but your hand is shaking. Are you feeling okay? I'm good, just a little nervous since it's a 120-year-old square. I would wonder I might accidentally throw something of extreme value away. As long as you stay away from the dig, don't dig through the sediments carelessly, we will use micro-stratigraphic approaches. We require high spatial control. Why don't you point at the sediments? You point at the... Oh, what? It's gone back. Oh, dig a little one into this one. The separate is unmistakable. Everything still looks brown to me, but here I go. Okay, so this puzzle has multiple numbers in some rows and columns. It might seem a little daunting, but you can start by solving the second row. What? This row requires 2 sequences of 2 cells each. You can't chisel them together, or you have 4 for the row instead. This means they need to be at least one unchiseled blank cell between them. This is a 5x5 grid, so there will only be one place with that blank cell can be. Try chiseling the row now. Did I do good? Did I do good? How's that? Fuck, I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright. I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I should have skipped the mini games. Okay, so we did that. There, how does it look? Perfect. The first type system is all that 2AL layer. This is an alluvial deposition, so it'll be slightly easy to work through. Not many pebbles or grainy textures here. I did good? I have no idea how I did it. Excellent. Now let's focus on the first column. See the first? You would already filled in with the second row. This means no unjoined cells need to be filled in. You can etch the cells around it. Now, what remains? This column still remains 2 cells to be chiseled. Go ahead and finish it. No, sorry, chiseled. There. Good job. See if you complete the rest and use check whenever you think you're done. Tip, try continue from the 4th row. You can also now use hints by selecting numbers on pressing confirm. 4th row. Is it 1, 2, 3? That's a 4th, is it? I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. That's not quite right. Try again. Well, of course it's not right. I have no idea what I was doing. Let's try that. Okay. Okay, so she wants me to do that. Try continuing from the 4th row. Oh, 4th row down. Shit. Okay. How do I get down there? Oh, I can't get to the 4th row. Oh, that is the 4th row there, so this way. Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing, guys. If you give up now, I'll fail you. Fuck. Okay, so... No. How's that? I'm not trying to skip, woman. I'm trying to get my hint. I don't get any of this crap, to be honest. It's confusing as hell. How's that? Okay, so continue from the 4th row. Okay, so what this is 3, so 3... That's 1, so 3. Maybe I etched 3 here. No, wrong button. How's that? Okay, so I thought it would be like 3 then 1. I'm trying to get the pattern. I have no idea what the pattern is. I just don't get it. Hey, looks like a pit cross. Yeah, I have no idea how to play a pit cross, eh? I've never been good at things like this. Okay, so it's just 3. It says start from the 4th one, so it says 3-1. So I've got it blank now, so I don't know if I'm supposed to put an etch there or chisel it away. What do you reckon? Okay, let's chisel it away. Maybe I do that. I'm just trying to get the pattern so I can understand what it means. Because I have no idea, to be honest. Like, I'm not good at things like this. I've never been those type of games, those pit cross games. I've never played them because I was never good at them. So this is 2 and 2. Okay, so dark. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Dark, 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 cross. Whoops, dark. Let's check that out. Okay, so that's not right either. So you Dark, 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 cross dark. Okay, she's saying it's not right. Maybe just leave that. Okay, I'll try that then for you. There, try that, eh? That's not quite right here. Try again. Man. What have we... Like, what is it? 3 and 1. No, it's none. It's telling me it's none. I can't get the hints. Let's try again, eh? Okay, I just... Was this the first puzzle? Yeah, kind of. Like, it basically did it for me. And this is the first puzzle that actually I've been left to myself to do. Did the puzzle start with any field? No, I had to put them in. Like, I had to put the 2 X's in at the top. And then, see the bottom part on the 5th row? That was my hint. So it came up like that on my hint. So I went to the hint straight away to get the pattern for it. And that's how it came up on the hint. And then when I did these 2 up the top, I said go to the 4th row, which is the 4th row is this. The hint must be there. There's one. I said the only way to solve it would be the 3rd one, and then the one. Okay, I still have no idea what I'm doing. We should. Part of me says to me, maybe we shouldn't have played this game with mini games. But then, it's just all talking, and it gets a little bit boring having all talking. That must be dark, 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 X dark. But you already tried that. How does it know that you finished? You tried solving row 4 then. Because you click a check. So if I go check now, it's just that. I can't skip it. If I skip it, she fouls me. Okay, so if I go like that, and that's right. Okay, check it for the whole puzzle. Okay. So let's would that be like that? And that would be nothing. The only way to do the 2nd row is with dark, dark, X, dark, dark. Okay, let's try that. Dark, dark, X, dark, dark. And then this one, did you want X, 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 dark, X? Because we can, oops. I skipped the dark, I did. So dark, dark, X, dark, dark, blank, then X, X. 2nd row is dark, dark, X, dark, dark. Yeah, we got that, I think. Yep, dark, dark, X, dark, dark. 3rd row is blank. And then the 4th row, did you want, 4th row should be dark, 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 X, oh, dark, dark, X, dark. How's that? Do you reckon that's good? And check that. You happy with that? We can just check that out. Okay, that's not quite right. What do you, is the first one right though? No, it should be harder. It's damn hard for me because I can't figure it out. I have no idea. I'm just relying on you. Maybe the top row is wrong. Your face is over the top right numbers. Oh, it is too. Let me see if I can move it for you. Might be a second. No, I got a phone call. I'll be back in just a jiffy. Back in a jiffy and I'll move the camera so we can see what we're doing. Okay guys, I'm back. Okay. Oh, the camera. I can't move the camera. Okay, it's moved now. Good. Let me see what you said. Okay, it's moved now. The third row should be all X's. Okay. Okay, so all X's. There we go. We were saying the clue is the continuous number of darks. There are no continuous darks, or the number of continuous darks, or therefore it's all X's. And once you'd filled that, the rest should be falling in place. Also, clear out row 1. That's not correct. Don't worry about the camera. I remember it's 11. So clear out row 1, like that. How you liking that? Is that good? Let me know if that's good for you. Make sure I haven't got still on mute. Okay, that should fall into place. Look at column 1. That one there. We have one column stuck into. The column is done, but to complete it, it needs an X. So X there? Is that what you're talking about? I'm really confused with this, I do apologise. Okay. How's that? How you liking that? So check that, you reckon? Nope. Not done yet. Not done yet! Okay, tell me what I need to do. There's so much to it. I still don't get the pattern. I'm just relying on you. Column 2 has a continuous dark and then a continuous dark. So those are already there. So everything else is an X. So this should be an X and this should be an X. Is that what you mean? Column 2. Oh, I'm looking at row 2. Sorry. Column 2, this one here. Yeah, I'm getting confused between columns and rows now. This one here. Sorry. These ones, column 2. Oh, I hate this part of the game. You have a continuous dark and a continuous dark. 11. So it's done. X is... I'll just read it here. It's easier to read on the phone. You have a continuous dark and a continuous dark. 1. 1. So it's done. X everywhere else. Oh, I'm still... Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. So that's... Oh, man. I hate these type of games, eh? And what I've never played them before. Pick cross kind of games, are they? Terrible. Terrible pick cross games. X everywhere else. So you said column 2. Column 2 is this here, isn't it? Because these are rows. So that would be column 2. That's correct? Column 2. Where I am now, you want me to put what in column 2? You have a continuous dark and a continuous dark. 1, 1, so it's done. X everywhere else. Yes, that's column 2. So do I put a cross there or... X everywhere that's not a dark. Your darks are done. Oh. So, you want to cross all these in here? Bottom row? Like that? Hopefully that's right, because... Nope. Okay. You clear the dark. Dark? Sorry, I do apologise for this, buddy. I really do. Don't remove the darks. Okay. The darks in column 2 were done. Okay, you need X's everywhere else in column 2. Column 2, final row. I can't go down there. The 5th row, you mean? Like the 5th row down the bottom? I can't get to it. It won't let me get to it, eh? Yeah. No, that's what I've been trying to figure out. So I can't move on to column 3. Yep, there. Yeah, sorry, I was getting confused because I couldn't move it. I can't go to the row 5. Row 5 I can't get to. So I'm in column 3 now. That needs 1 continuous dark there, followed by some numbers of X and then 1 continuous dark. That's the only way you can make it happen. So you want to add X, an X in what do you want on the column 4 and 5? X and X or X and dark? Column 4? Yep. Here's how to interpret it. Once again, guys, this game is brought to you by Ratalaika Games, ratalaikagames.com. C14 dating, guys. It's got mini games in it as well, like we're playing right now. And I'm stuck on. But check them out, guys. ratalaikagames.com. Some number, maybe 0, X, then 1 dark, then some number, not 0, X, then 1 dark, then some number, maybe 0, X. Oh, you've lost me. I have no idea. This is why I don't play these type of games. Not this game, these Picross games. I don't play Picross games, if that's what these games are. I'm not very smart. I've just never been taught how to play them. Okay, I fill the rest with an X. An X here as well. In the 5th row, or 5th column, I said, sorry. Like that? How are you liking that? Sorry, my camera's in the way. Now, do you want me to check that? Let's go for the check. What do you reckon? Go for the check? Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh! Oh, genius. You're a genius, my man. I could never have done that. No way in a million years could I figure that out. I'm trying to see the pattern. I still just don't get it, eh? Oh. So we skipped a bit. I think I had auto. There will be more of them. Hopefully I, Hey, what the hell? What the hell? It's gone back. What the hell? Did I just clear it again? What happened? No, the text automatically went forward, so I've gone back. And now I'm back here again. It's going funny. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Okay, so I can't... So if I give up now, I'll fail you. Okay, well... Okay, so I'm back here. Okay, so... For some reason, I've pressed the wrong button, I think. Well, solve it again, I guess. Okay, so we had... Okay, so... Let me see if we can... And we'll have to read the text carefully this time. Yeah, if you press a button, which I don't know which button it could be, it automatically makes the text continue without you pressing buttons. Okay, so solve the middle roll first. Yeah, it rewinds it. I must have pressed the trigger. My apologies, guys. My apologies. My fat fingers on the controller. Okay, so this... I think this was... Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, that wasn't it. Okay, so clue for the middle row, some number, maybe 0, X, then 0 darks, then some number, maybe 0, X's. Oh, man. Change row... So change row 1 column to dark. There we go. How's that looking? And row 3 is all X's. Like that? How's that look for you? There we go. Okay, let's read it this time. I figured it out, where all the sentiments are, Sherry. Agree. Do you still have your photograph? You can fix up some of the pencil lines you can put down before. Usually, you need to have your photograph approved by one of the staff members here, but since we're short-handed, I'll be overseeing the photograph submissions as well. I agree with your stratigraphical mark down. You could outline the pencil with a permanent marker and start digging from the top once you're done. Thanks, Sherry! Big shout out to the Ratalaika man for helping me solve that. As I said before, guys, I'd be here all day doing that, and still here tomorrow. I didn't forget it this time. Wonderful. Also, you talked to Helena already? She's a receptionist here overseeing the volunteers for cooking and cleaning dishes. Cleaning duties. Oh, huh? As you recall, I expect you to volunteer since it's for your marks too. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to have a save. There we go. Just in case something happens. Already got that covered. I volunteered myself for tomorrow. I'm glad to hear that. Was worried since you didn't speak English, and you didn't ask for me help. I'll check in later to see if you stumped on another puzzle. You know I will be, buddy. You know I will be. It's wonderful to see you getting involved from the very beginning. I like to do my share, marks or not. I'll let you finish the first task. It's mostly helping the other students here. Give a holler if you hear any inquiries. I personally want to get used to digging in the cave first before you transfer to the lab. Next week you can decide which one you'd like to focus on. Generally, students spend 1 week in the cave, 1 week in the lab. Then alternate, however, I think flexibility is very important, so I'll let you plan out your days. Sounds good! With the conversation finished, Sherry climbed the ladder, leaving me with a remote Kyler. Geez, he digs so fast. He does have experience though, but I wonder if I can rely on him. So much for the square mate thing. Pulling my earbuds out of my pocket and set them and turn on my music. Now let's tackle this mucky lair. Gonna drink, guys. Oh, I failed something there. What was that? Heavy, way too heavy. Why did I think it was all a good idea to fill in the top? To the top. Not only I had climbed the 2 ladders, gripping the bucket handle with the board's hands, I managed to struggle forward to the wet screening area. Let's turn that down a bit. Luckily one piece was free. I set down the bucket and placed the screen over the container suspended above the tub of water. I tried hoisting the bucket only to find it was too short for this task. I kicked fluently at the cement block until I realized it was faster to grab and drag it next to the tub. Stepping on the block, I unceremoniously dumped half the bucket's contents, trying not to overdo it. Once I had my labeled cup up next to me, I grabbed a hose and drenched the compact soil using my free hand to break up the globs. While I sifted through the items, I glanced at the person across from me. He tentatively poked through the wet screen, unable to determine any of the objects were rubbish or worth dropping into the cup. His arms obscured with his hoodie design, although he seemed vaguely familiar to me. I watched him, and he happened to look up, meeting my eyes. Bonjour! Sorry, I can't speak French, so I'm not even sure if I can understand me. I didn't mean to blunt that out, but I alerted his eyes briefly. For a moment, I thought he hadn't understood English. I didn't know how to respond. Hello? You speak English? Yes, I'm pretty fluent with it. Sweet. It's always nice to know I can talk to more people here. I'm not confident with my French at all, let alone Spanish. I chuckled while I waited for a reply. However, he meekly nodded and glanced down at the wet screening. Totally opposed of this, DeAndre. Guess it's not a big conversation. Music is great, but I spent all morning besides a super social call. I need small talk, darn it. Let's do the neutralist. First time here as well? Yes, I don't know much about archaeology, so it's all new to me. Same here. I'm still deciding if it's what I like to do. It's a lot to take in. My head is spinning from the info dumped on me in the past few days. Hopefully all my worries will pass on whether I can do this or not, and I can enjoy the experience.
Are you nervous too?
A bit. A bit. Sorry, I keep pressing that wrong button, guys. My stupid fingers. For someone being thoughtfully, I had to answer it. It was barely a complete sentence. I need another angle. What else could I say? We'll say, I love your hoodie. It was going to be a general statement, but I got a clearer look at what was he wearing. Wait, no way! Some of the design was still hidden by his arm, but I recognized that logo anywhere.
Oh my gosh! I love Chronicles of the Sinai hoodie! It was based on 20 masks, right?
You played them before?
It was practically my childhood. I love the series, it was my favorite one.
Really? Mine too. I've always appreciated the darker direction the series took with it.
Yeah, I loved the mystery, spooky vibe it had going. My favorite part was learning about the world through side quests.
I'm guessing you completed the Lover's Quest? Why did you think of that one?
Loved it. It was really sad and I felt guilty. I couldn't reunite with every time. I think I shed more tears over that than the actual ending. The NPC schedule was super detailed. I ended up following each character.
I agree. The main town felt livelier for it. I liked how your choices could influence the characters too.
I am Soji.
He eagerly extended his arm and I flinched from the unanticipated gesture. Seeing my startled reaction, he hesitantly withdrew his hand, averted his eyes. Sorry.
No worries, I just didn't expect it to hear.
I initiated the handshake this time and realized how gritty and wet our hands were. It seemed to be aware of it too, and we exchanged the apologetic look, followed by a laugh.
Oh, my bad. Should have wiped my hand first. Not the best handshakes there.
It's fine. The burst of zeal he displayed when we gushed over games had quickly mellowed out. We realized each other's hand, and he slightly returned to his wet screening and I did the same. Sometimes I glanced up and sensed he would more to say, but did not actually. I took it from already forced enough conversation out of him for now. When it was done, Soji tipped over the screen, dumping all of it on the rubble, which disappeared into the water below. After Soji picked up the empty bucket, he lingered back to the catwalk for a moment before returning to me. I see you're around, huh? He trailed off and then it hit me that I haven't even said my name yet.
Oh, it's Melissa.
Right, pleased to meet you, Melissa.
Likewise, see you later, Soji.
He gave me a grateful nod before disappearing into the cave.
I might as well finish up too.
Okay, drink time. A couple more minutes, guys, and I've got to go pick my daughter up from school. Last day of school before term 1. We have terms here in Australia, not just... We have 4 terms in school. So term 1's finished. Easter break. Good Friday tomorrow, then Easter Saturday, then Easter Sunday, and then Easter Monday. So I've got to pick her up early today. She's finishing school early. So I'll be picking her up. I'll just do a couple more and then I'll go pick her up. What's that outside real quick? Okay, back. Sorry guys. Once I had finished preparing the plates and cutlery, I returned to the kitchen. D. Andretti stewed soup in the giant pot resting off the single burner stove. I quickly eaten the lunch and always considered of sandwich ingredients, along with a serving of soup.
Finish setting up the table!
Who's this guy's... Oh, he was a Kiwi, wasn't he? Thanks, Mum. I'm still grateful that you volunteered and all choice.
It's no problem, glad to be of help.
He tapped the top of the pot with a stirring spoon to get the liquid off.
Do you cook often? You seem rather skilled.
I don't know if a stirring soup is considered a skill, bro.
At least it seems to know what you're doing.
I've been cooking seriously since first year of university, perhaps. I mean, before I could do the basics prep choice, I know frozen meals into the microwave, hey cuz? Once I moved to New Zealand, I sort of picked up cooking while living in the dorms. Eating out is pretty expensive. I needed to start a strict diet, eh?
Strict diet? I'm guessing you could work at the participate in sports.
You ain't wrong. Training and weightlifting are part of my resume. I mean, rugby player, I guess.
Oh, that's neat. What position do you usually play?
I'm a lock, bro. I'm guessing you don't know much about union rugby.
Not really, sorry. I know it's similar to football, or American football, but without the padding.
It basically looks provide the power and weight, break through defense, jump high in the lineouts, and
it sounds like every position.
He's pissed. I lost you again, didn't I? Cause
a lineout. What's a lineout?
Hey, well, it's let's start the Lux. Anyway, Lux have to get the ball, and whatever it cost, he extended his arms, pretending to reach for me. I made a primitive grunt. Roar, aggressive! Must be possession of the ball. Well, not as aggressive as flankers, but you never know to be tackled by those. Hey, bro. I giggled and deciding not to ask what a flanker was either, and gently shifted the topic.
Where did you learn how to play rugby?
Well, I grew up always playing it, even joined a local rugby club, but moved into New Zealand to hone my skills even further, bro.
Out of the countries in the world, why New Zealand? If I recall, you went to study, right?
Well, won't be a second, guys. It's actually pissing down with rain, and I've got washing on the line. So just gonna pause it up and I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry about that. It was a nice sunny day outside. And I got the washing on the line, right? I got towels on the line, I got clothes on the line. It's just a full washing experience today. And I just look outside just a second ago, and it's just pissing down rain. I'm like, crap. Oh, don't you hate that? Don't you hate that? Okay, a little bit more, guys, and then we'll go and pick up my daughter from school. It's alright. Hey, bro, I just bought this game on my PS4. Good work, Jericho. Thanks for playing it and letting me see it. Well done, my bro. Was on sale too. That's good to hear. Thanks again. You're welcome, Jericho. I'm glad I could stream this game for you, buddy, and stream it for everyone else that's watching today, and giving me the insight on what the actual game's like. If you like your visual novel games, C14 Dating, it's right up your alley. And I'm glad I could make a sale for Ratalaika Games. Ratalikagames.com, guys, check them out. A little bit more. How is it related to rugby? I went there because one of the universities in Wellington offered me a program that combined rugby culture and education, bro. He grinned like a child, reminiscing about his Christmas present. I got to enroll there for a few trimesters, along with a free tickets to elite games and a gym membership to where the top-notch rugby players trained. Goes. Not only that, I got to participate in practice sessions. I learned lots down there. It was pretty sweet as, bro. It was expensive though, and my visa expired. I guess it was invertible though. And now I'm finishing up my degree in League.
What degree are you working on?
English.
It all sounds pretty heavy duty. How do you balance both rugby and your English degree? You're not just focused on your rugby career.
As much as I like rugby, too much can happen on the field. One traumatic or hard-hitting injury and your career's over. Even if the best physio, you may not play as well as you did before, bro. I figured if something were to happen, I could always teach English as a foreign language to a fellow. The pop bubbled and dear Andre softly cursed. He grabbed the spoon and stirred again to prevent ingredients from settling on the bottom. Phew! Nearly forgot about the guest. Guess it's time to fly and having a conversation. What's the time, bro? I checked my phone display.
About time for students to eat. I'll get the cold cuts and drinks out now.
Thanks, the soup looks already, bro. He turned off the burner and we focused on organizing lunch. I glanced at the Andre as he happily hurried over the students coming down the stairs from the forest trail.
Sounds like he's figured things out. Now I gotta focus on what he'd like to do.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is gonna save it up in a second, guys, and we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna go and pick my daughter up from school. So let's just. I love the ball in the face. And I'm gonna send these headphones back to Amazon because they're terrible. Okay, so let's save it, guys. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first off, guys, I'd like to thank everyone for coming into my stream today. Thank you. Jericho, I'm glad you bought the game. Once again, big shout out to Ratalaika Games for sending me this game to stream today for everyone to watch. Ratalikagames.com. C14 Dating just got released, guys. It's available for the PS4, the PS5, which I was playing on today, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, and the beautiful Nintendo Switch. So all you have to do, guys, is basically you go into your Nintendo eShop, your PS4 store, the Xbox store, type in C14 Dating, and then just buy the game if you like visual novels. Then buy this game. Also, check out ratalikagames.com. All Ratalaika Games, if you go there, all their games on their website are made for console. So your main ones are your new release PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and your Nintendo Switch. There's a lot of older games on there as well that could be available for your PSP, or your PS Vita, I should say. And but the PS Vita's store is closing soon, so get in there quick, guys. Get in there quick for those type of games. But once again, big shout out to Ratalaika Games. And also a big shout out to the Ratalaika man here that came past the stream today to help me with that pick cross puzzle that I just completely sucked at. Okay, guys. Once again, thank you all for coming past. Tomorrow being Good Friday, then Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, I won't be on streaming. But I'd like to thank everyone. Have a great, fantastic, happy Easter. Stay safe. Look after yourselves and the ones you love. And guys, don't forget to feed your pets. Once again, Happy Easter. Have a good one. And until next time, bye for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Happy Easter and bye, guys.